Happy Sunday, everybody. It's good to see you. We have a lot on the table tonight. I have some surprises for you. We're going to talk about some heavy stuff tonight, but I'm also going to try to make this a little different. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the comments and say hello to my Sushi crew. Hey, everybody. Hey, Twin Mom 2011, Shiva's Girl, Terry, Rebred, Cindy O'Neill, freshly married. Yes, you did. You made it in time. Congratulations, my love. Let's see. I don't think I've had the chance or the opportunity to say that on the air. Let's see. Who else is it? Jenny Penny. So good to see you. My good friend Ping. Carolyn Dillman. Heather Murray. So glad you're here. So you guys, I want to thank, love my Charlie Faith, Chili Bean, Sherry Rensley, Candy Williams. No, I hope I'm not missing anybody. Rotary Dial, Mark Klein, Mary Deathy Deals. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, so here's the deal. You guys have been so patient with me. Just dealing with me being Amy, and so supportive, and, talked about being mindful and everything else. I can't even tell you what all of those, all of your words of encouragement when I'm frustrated, when I feel like I can't do what I want to do. I have time constraints. So I'm struggling with this balance all the time. And you've been so incredibly kind, and I appreciate it. And tonight, I'm going to use your words and put them back on you. Hey, Moonlight View, it's good to see you. So I don't know if that makes sense. So here's the deal. I need you guys to type the hashtag, Hi Luna Blue, and I'm going to type it for you right here. It's hashtag Sushi Crew in the comments. Type it in the comments for me. Trust me. And you'll see what I do with that later on. So hopefully, I love you too, Judy Eisler Heron. Thank you. Hopefully it'll be a good thing. And please, everybody, do it. Don't mess out. There's no strings or anything here. I simply am going to be doing a drawing in about 20 minutes for an Amazon gift card. And we'll do it live on the air. And then you will email me. If you're the winner, you will email me, and I will email you the gift card. Simple as that. The only thing I ask, when you're giving a gift, you can't really put, what would it be, like rules? But if you can at all, if you get this gift card, I want you to buy something fun for yourself. Okay? That's it. I just want you to practice self-love, self-kindness, self-care, all the things that, you've asked me to do, and I want to give it back. So there you go. There's no terms or conditions. It's just hashtag Sushi Crew in the chat, and I'll do that at right around 10:30. So I'll remind people a few times as, people come in or whatever, if they do. But, right now at 60 people, you have a pretty good chance. So yay, super fun. Mods are eligible. So, the only person that's not going to get the gift card is if it picks my name. But other than that, so super fun. So on that note, I'm going to invite my special friend, my good friend, my trusted cohort, the mod from down under. Ping the router, add him to the stream so we can chat it up here. Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you? How's your, you're on Monday, right?
Yeah, it's Monday here.
How's your Monday going?
Busy. We just had class all day, so
did you
it's what it is.
Before you did this?
No, not yet. I'll eat a bit later.
No, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm going to eat dinner when we're done with this. I don't know if that makes you feel better, but I have a salad downstairs on the counter.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. I'm sorry, my nose is super itchy. I don't know what's going on. I do know what's going on. I rubbed my face and the dog's face and did all that, like, oh, I love you so much, you're mommy's little baby. No, I got hair in my nose. Hey, Websleuths. Hey, Trisha. Good
Oh,
to
boss
see
is here.
you. The boss is everybody on your best behavior. Put all those things away that she shouldn't be able to see. So, or she'll take them from you because she'll approve of them and want them for herself. Probably. Anyway, so tonight I'm gonna kind of like start light and then move into the heavy stuff. But I found an interesting story out of England or out of the UK. I feel so weird saying England. It sounds like it's like when people say like, "How do you like America?" It's like it's the US. It's weird. Anyway, out of the UK, and gonna read this to you guys, like give you the brief overview. So it says new invisible liquid is being sent out to Cheshire homes. The invisible liquid has cost Cheshire police £170,000 and is being rolled out to residents across the country. A unique crime-fighting liquid that is placed on items in homes is set to be rolled out in Cheshire. The liquid is a select DNA forensic coding solution and marks burglars' skin and clothing once they touch an item. Officers from Cheshire Police will use specialized lighting to discover if the offender has been marked by the colorless liquid. The liquid can be placed on items such as jewelry, laptops, TVs, and comes with a DNA code that can link a specific crime that has been reported. And then it goes on to say, officers will distribute the kits by selecting targeted streets, and residents who are provided with a kit will also receive a sticker that can be displayed on their windows, like an ADD, like this home is protected by, or whatever. Offenders who set out to commit these crimes will run a risk of being marked with a liquid in any of the homes they choose to target. They won't know the liquid is on them, and they will find it incredibly difficult to remove, which makes it easier for officers to detect them. So, it just goes on about how they're going to distribute this new kit. So I did a little research, and I want to share this with you. Hold on one second. Let's share this screen with you. So it seems like this is the company they're using. It's called Select a DNA. And I guess it's like a tacky substance that you spray on your valuables. And when a criminal touches it, they get a residual transfer onto their skin. And apparently it's very hard to remove. Like it settles into the cracks of your skin and can last for weeks, even with, according to this website, even with like incessant washing. It also, when they touch your like your TV or your cell phone or something like that, it leaves a little bit of their DNA. That stickiness collects a little bit of those, like the epithelials on your fingers and things like that, or hairs or whatever. So I feel like it's going to help when recovering an item, not only recovering the item, but proving the person who may have stolen it if they're a suspect. And I think this is really interesting because it's a company out in the US, and their website claims that they have a whole tab. I don't know if this will, let's show it. Let me look. They have a whole tab for, yeah, it does. Okay. So they have a whole tab for law enforcement. They claim they have property marking, training on how to use, these different products. Then they have a database access. And they have the whole thing on traceable liquids. What do they have under U.S. News? Curious. We'll look right here. Let's see. So it looks like they have a luxury watch company using this when they sell their watches. They're starting to use it in New York City, New York State Sheriff's Association. So I hadn't heard about this before. Rare books, people are using it for that. But for the civilians, when you look at their products, they have DNA asset marketing, the DNA grease, DNA gel, DNA intruder sprays, detection and ID devices, DNA defense spray, DNA trace, high velocity DNA tagging system, and DNA tagging spray. And like when you click on like asset marking, which like when I say it fast doesn't sound very nice, but it looks pretty reasonable. Like it's a DNA forensic property marking kit designed for home and small office use, marks a minimum of 100 items of property, including TVs, smartphones, desktop PCs, laptops, digital cameras, and it's $199. So some of these other products that they have, you have to call for pricing. And then they have the signs that you put in your window, like, hey, my stuff is marked, so put your grubby mitts on it. The rest of the stuff is not priced, but I found this really, really interesting. Had you ever heard about anything like this, Ping?
Not this one in particular. The one I know about is called Microdots. And what they do is you get these tiny little microdots. They're very, very small. You can only see it with a magnifying glass. And you glue them onto your valuables. And if it gets stolen, you can look at them under a magnifying glass, and it'll have like a code or I don't know, your name or something, and that way you know it's your item after it's been stolen. But this kind of goes like one step further than that. So it's really cool that the police are doing this.
It is. I mean, it's interesting because it's twofold. Like, it not only marks their hand with that stuff, and they say it like it just doesn't sit on top of the dermis. Like it has a delivery system, so it goes down farther. So even if you're constantly exfoliating, it's not going to come off right away. They say 2 to 3 weeks, or 2 to 3 weeks is what they said. And then when you touch the item, you're transferring your DNA. You have transferred DNA onto the object that you touch. So if they recover something and you're a suspect, they can say, well, listen, Amy, you have it on your hands. Your DNA is on the thing. So 1 + 1 = 2, right? It's interesting that they're supplying it to consumers over there. I mean, not consumers, but citizens. I didn't know it was available over here. I'm definitely going to look a little harder and see what the science behind it says. Like, is it really, or is this just one of those, like, things that there's a lot of things that they sell to citizens.
Is it more of a deterrent rather than actually something that works?
Right, exactly. Well, yeah, criminals do wear gloves, but suppose they had it on their gloves and the only DNA inside the gloves is theirs. I mean, there's that, I guess. It's a deterrent. It's interesting. Yeah, okay. Rebread said, True Crime Sushi, I recently heard about some sort of pepper spray that spray blue stuff on someone's face, a bit like when you pull a fire alarm. I think this is one of the products that this DNA asset marketing place sells. They have a deterrent spray, and it you pepper spray them, and then as it settles in the skin, it turns. So, and it can't be washed off. So weird, Mom. Just a random thing. If you draw on yourself with a highlighter and wash it off completely, you can still see it under a black light.
That's very interesting.
That is. And I'm kind of interested in how you know that.
We're all going to have highlighters tonight. And
I know.
going under the blue light.
One of the things I like to do with my kids, I don't know, it's so stupid, but those what do you call them? They're like light sticks. Like you crunch them, and then they light up.
Oh, glow stick.
Glow sticks, yeah, that's what they're called. So the ones where you can make like the necklaces and stuff. They come with like the connectors, and you buy them at like Dollar Tree. You get
the thin ones. The thin ones.
Yes. So I'll have to show you guys sometime if you really want to see it. But we like to do the thing where we put like one around our head, and then we do like a stick, like a long one down our body, and then our appendages, and then we turn off the lights and we dance, and it looks like little stick figure people. For some reason, it makes us like roll on the floor laughing. I don't know.
They look really good under like photography. When you do that with the lights off, it loook really cool because then all you see is the glow sticks.
It does. I remember when I was in school and we were doing photography. Dummy, hate me. We were doing photography, and there was a lot of like like, you know, the stuff you do where you move real fast and you adjust the aperture or whatever, so you get those
double exposure and things like that.
Yeah, it's never good at photography, to be honest. I mean, I have an eye for it, but like I'm not like, give me a camera and like, you need to hit it here and put this setting here, and I'm like, no, I just want to play with all the buttons and take pictures. I don't care about that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I have a very expensive camera, and it took me 4 years to learn how to shoot in manual mode. Before I was just using automatic.
I always use camera raw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you're talking about? And then I just
No. Auto is like where it does all your settings for you. And manual is like where you have to adjust everything manually. But yeah, it took me a long time to learn how to do it, even though it's only like 2 triggers. But that, you know.
Yeah, it's not a thing that my brain, like, you know, people have different ways of like thinking and dealing with stuff, and it was so frustrating. It came so easy to so many people, and to me, it just wasn't. I couldn't, like, I would sit there with people and they're like, oh, it should be at this speed and this and blah blah blah, and you know, all this stuff, and you flip over to this button, and I was constantly just like holding it and like when I guess I'll just do this, this, and this, and we'll see how it works out. I don't know. It's
not exactly a thing you just pick up and do. It's a lot of work. The people who are really good at it, I mean, they seem to just have a knack for it. Even me, I've been shooting photos with a like DSLR for 8 years now, and I'm still learning how to use it properly.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a big learning curve on some of that stuff. It's like, I don't know. I got through that class and I did well. I'm not really sure how, because I really, really struggled with it. But a lot of times what I would do is I would shoot in camera raw, and then I'd go and fix everything in there to like what it was supposed to look like. And
yeah, that gives you more like it's a bigger file, so when you like mess with it, it doesn't degrade as quickly because you're in that raw setting. So
no, it really doesn't, unless you're like really you're sliding to like way to one side. Do you know what I mean? Like doing like extreme things. Like at that point,
sharpness all the way up.
Yeah, if you have to do that, you need to reshoot. But yeah. Yeah, it allows for more adjustments on the back end. Yeah, exactly. So, oh no, the 9-year-old from the concert has passed away. I did not hear that. That is.
That's very sad.
Oh, I don't even. We'll have to talk about that on another day. But I don't even know what to think about that. I know that I listened to. Well, here we go. We're going to talk about it. I listened to the press conference from the Harris County Sheriff. I believe it was maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember. And I got where he was coming from. He didn't want to answer a lot of questions because he felt like he was still doing an investigation, not only of what happened at the Travis Scott show, but an internal investigation of his own police force. And I get it. I respect it. But there was one thing he said that really bothered me. He said, you know, because somebody said, you know, why didn't you just pull the switch and end the show? Like the minute it started happening. And he stood up there and he said, we don't have that authority. And I'm just
think in an emergency, they could do whatever the hell they wanted to solve the issue.
So when I worked in PR, we did events for up to anywhere between 18 and 50,000 people. I mean, we did arena events, like when you go to see a concert, like that, those kind of events, large groups of people. I call BS on law enforcement can't do that. They can do it anytime they want. They can walk in there and say, where's the plug?
Yeah, I've heard of concerts being shut down by cops before, so it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right. Yeah, yeah. They can walk in at any time. I mean, I'm not going to say for any reason, but basically, if law enforcement walks in there and tells you to shut it down, you shut it down, and you ask questions later. It's just so for him to sit up there and say that, I was like,
It's a bit of a cop out.
no pun intended.
Yeah, no pun.
Right? No, it is because there's got to be accountability. Nothing is going to bring these people back, but it shouldn't have gone as far as it did. And when you start, we live in an age now where, like, 10 years ago, we heard the news, we saw the same clips over and over and over again. But again, I'm going to go to TikTok and say this: go to TikTok, and there are hours and hours and hours and hours of footage of that concert. There's people that have the moment their friend is like lifted out of the barrier by somebody else, upon being crushed, or, trying to thank some guy that like held them like, like this so that they could breathe. So they had some personal space. So there's no hiding what went on, because we live in a day where we're all reporters that answer to a digital community.
Right. I think one of the scariest, I don't know, things that came out of it was that nurse who posted on Facebook about what she did afterwards. And she jumped over the barricade and she was resuscitating people and stuff. And I'm like, where was the other help if someone had to come from the crowd?
Mm-hmm.
50,000 people and you have like 6 ambos on. Like, It's not enough.
It's not. Well, there was, I watched an interview with an EMT that was there, and he was saying, they have partners. They're supposed to be together. They're somebody's telling them there's somebody down. They don't really know the situation. First of all, nobody's letting them through the crowd. That's the first problem. They get through the crowd and they realize that this person is not just like twisted their ankle or anything like that. Like, they need a crash bag. So the one EMT has to run back to get that through the crowd. He couldn't get through the first time. On his way back with the crash bag, he keeps finding other EMTs separated from their partner, trying to do CPR by themselves, waiting on a crash bag. And the procedure when you're, if you want to go by SOPs of an EMT, would be you don't go to another victim until you've finished with your first, because it creates chaos. But he said, as he was trying to get through the crowd and get back to the original situation, he kept coming upon, other people that were down, and emergency service people that had been not abandoned, but pretty much abandoned by their partner, because they weren't stationed anywhere. They weren't equipped. And it's interesting. There's a, well, I don't know, Luna Blue, do you think they weren't trained? I think that there weren't enough of them.
I think they were outnumbered.
And they were
outnumbered.
Yeah, and people didn't want anybody coming through that crowd. They talked about trying to get to this crowd, like yelling, like, there's somebody dying, you gotta let me in. And people are like watching the show, because they didn't really get the severity of the situation.
Then they get stopped, and then someone's like, come help my friend, they're in trouble. Right, and then
right. And they're like, we can't, because we have to. Yeah, it's horrible. And here's the other thing. When they were talking about the communication, about law enforcement not being able to shut it down, which I call bullshit. They can. I've seen it. I've lived it. It happens. And 2, about the communication. So we all, I think a lot of us know that when you're using like radios for events and stuff, there's channels for different people. So like for us, 3 was always our security channel. And then 2 was production and lighting. And you know what I mean? So you could flip from channel to channel, or you only had access, you're only supposed to be on a certain channel if you were a certain person, and blah, blah, blah. There's a universal code on all channels for like S hits the fan is like,
Shut up and listen, basically.
Yeah, or like foo bar. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, code red.
yeah, code red. And it means like everybody needs to turn to the security channel, and including who is ever handling the person on stage, whether they be a performer, a speaker, or whatever, if that person doesn't already have a feed. So this was a poorly produced event. I think they didn't have enough security. I think they didn't have the right setup for the crowd. I don't think they had enough medical teams, and I don't think they had run what you would call advanced work, which is something that you do before these things. You pretend like the shit hit the fan.
Yeah, they run like a D-Day scenario for that event.
Right. And you know all the hospital runs, you know all the ways to get around for traffic, you know where you're going to pull in an ambulance if you have to. Like, you do all these things. Clearly, none of this was done because they didn't check off the boxes in any department, in my opinion, or as much as I have seen so far.
But the thing is, Amy, as well, they knew hours and hours before that they were in trouble should anything go wrong. They knew when that gate was rushed that they didn't have enough staff. So
Yeah.
they had time to be like, oh crap, we screwed up.
Mhm.
Let's call some backup in for the rest of the night when people start drinking. And they didn't.
Exactly. I agree. They just, I mean, what was that? Was it ego? Like, oh, we can handle this, or not? It scares me. I got to tell you.
Money, probably.
What's that?
Money, probably.
Well, money too. Yeah. And people, you know, sometimes people will say like, oh, if you shut this down, I'll sue you, or I'm going to have to. No. There's all kinds of things in contracts. There's acts of God and war. There's, you know, attrition rates if things happen. There's things that have to do with like security. If that's like an issue, like, no, you don't listen to that kind of talk in the moment. That shouldn't prevent you from protecting people's lives. I don't care who's saying it. I don't care if Travis Scott is up there saying it. I don't care if, you know, he's owned by, you know, Jay-Z's label, which he isn't, but you know what I mean? I don't care what kind of money or power is behind it. And the moment you do what's right, you argue about it later.
100%. It's not always about, you know, because now you look at those two rappers, Drake and the other guy that was there. Look at their profile now. They're copying all of it. But if they had done the right thing, they would have been hailed as like, wow, they did the right thing. And it's, you know, you lose money, but, you know, you're going to keep your career, aren't you? So it makes sense to do the right thing.
It does. I mean, people come first. Yeah, that's true. I hate mornings. They surely made sure the VIPs got out safely. Well, the thing is, the VIPs had what, 5-6 times the movement in their personal space as
Weren't they raised on a level as well?
I believe they were up a little bit higher because when you see the VIPs pulling people out of the crowd, they're above them. It looks like a raised concrete thing. Yeah, so it's that was just a horrible situation. And you know, I've talked about this before. I've had social anxiety for quite some time because I'm very, very scared about being able to get out of situations, and too many people around. Being trampled is a legitimate fear of mine. I know this weekend in Orlando we have Electric Daisy Carnival, and then in Jacksonville we have Welcome to Rockville. Chris and I went to that 3 years ago because it was my birthday. We went to go see Foo Fighters and Billy Idol, and I started telling the story, and now I don't want to, but I'll just tell it real quick. But sorry, because it makes me sound like an a-hole. But anyway, Chris is very good friends with Billy Idol's manager, and so it was like one of these things. They were like, just go to the booth, pick up tickets at Will Call, you're good to go, and then before Billy plays, because it's going to be Foo Fighters or Billy and then Foo Fighters, come up to the sound thing and we'll let you in. Well, because there were so many bands playing, like Greta Van Fleet and all these bands. We were walking around, and then we got to that time, and we started, getting towards that area. People were already shoving and stuff. Like when we were trying to get up to where the sound stage was, like, I kind of had a little panic attack because I got pushed into the metal railing and I couldn't move anymore. And Chris was like, just keep walking. And I was like, I don't care enough about seeing anybody to go through this. Like,
yeah, it gets frightening.
Yeah, I just wanted to go home. I really, really did. My shoe was untied. It kept coming off. I was like kicking my shoe in front of me. I'm just like, I don't know. Why do people act like that? Why do people act like that?
I'm not sure. But to everyone in the chat, I did tell Amy this a while ago when the Astroworld thing first happened. But I was actually at the Limp Bizkit concert in Sydney, Australia, when a girl named Jessica was crushed to death during their set. And it was one of the worst things. It was very much like Woodstock 99. And I was in that crowd, and it's scary, real scary when it gets to that riot stage in that crowd. It's awful.
It is, because you see different reactions. Some people are panicking, some people are fighting against it, some people are clueless, and I don't really know. I don't know how an expert would handle it. I know how, like, we were trained when we did events, and the thing is that you throw on the lights. There's no longer like a screen showing the performer, like the performer might still be standing there, but that screen now has directions on how to get to exits, and those exits are lit up a different color than everything else. And you ask people to stay calm and exit, and we'll figure it out later. They didn't do any of that.
No house lights, nothing.
No. And I remember, God, I can't even imagine being at that concert. Pain, that would have scared the crap out of me. I can remember.
It was awful.
I went to the first Lollapalooza in 1991. And during Jane's Addiction, it was dark. First of all, they didn't account for, they didn't have multiple stages the first year. Okay. So they were all playing on one stage, and they didn't realize how long it was going to take to transition the stage between performers. So, here it is like 12:30 at night, and you still got 3 bands to play, and they're the big ones. They're Jane's Addictions, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I can't think of who the third one was. Honestly, I know Susie Sue played before them, but anyway, it was pitch black. We were on fairgrounds. They didn't have enough lights, and you could not see 2 feet in front of you, and people were starting a mosh pit. And I was 18 at the time. I can remember like wanting to hear the band and everything, but I just got away from the crowd. Like, I was like, I'm not doing this in the dark. Like, that's no way.
That's why they now do either rotating stages, or they have multiple stages.
Yeah.
To get that transition done.
Yeah, because that was crazy. It was like, I can't even think. And some of those bands were friends too. I don't know why they couldn't like just be like, "Hey man, use my drums," but apparently not.
They're very particular about their instruments, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and their sound and all of that stuff. But anyway, that wasn't. I mean, I'm glad we're talking about it. It wasn't really. It was something.
Wasn't part of the plan, but
no. Right. But that's okay. That's how it happens. So people are funny. They're like, "I saw your show title and you never talked about it." I'm like, "Well, I'll just let things happen. That's okay."
Yeah.
I think it's better that way. But it's 10:35. If you're just joining me, Mary Duffy Deals, I agree with you. I get weird about that too. If you haven't already, you only have to do it once. Put this hashtag in the comments. It is hashtag Sushi Crew. And in 5 minutes, I'm going to do a drawing for an Amazon gift card. I can't put any, restrictions on like what you can do with it or not, but because you guys have been so good to me and encouraging me and been like, take care of yourself or just rest, or it's okay, don't feel like a loser, even if you're saying it under your breath, loser. Can't even do the loser L. There we go, loser. I want to pay it back to you, and I hope that if you get it, you just buy yourself something fun. If it's candy, if it's, I don't know, just like something little. It's, it's
Buy yourself something pretty.
yeah, it's $25. Put it towards something else. I don't know. But I really want to do this, and I'm excited. And let's see, there's 124 people in here. So I'm not a math person, but I think your odds are like 1 in 124. So
It's not 1 in 1. I thought it was.
and mods are eligible. So super, super, super fun. And I can't wait because I want to do this like, here and there on a regular basis. And I got a new toy to play with. So that's it too. So super, super excited about that. So make sure you get it down there. I'm going to give you like 4 more minutes and then we're going to go for it. And if you win, you just need to email me. Here's my email address. It's just Amy at truecrimesushi.com. Let me know it's you. And then I'll just email. It's a digital gift card. So you'll get it tonight. As soon as we're done, I'll go downstairs and make that happen for you. So I'm excited.
How cool is that?
I know. It's just a little surprise. And it may happen every once in a while, and you never know. So yeah, I think it's fun. And but yeah. Yep, Sushi Crew. That's right, Jenny Penny, Sushi Crew. Hashtag Sushi Crew. And that's all you have to do. No obligation, not selling your screen names to anybody. And you won't be getting like, weird things like I don't know. Do you believe a guy with a volcano started civilization? Let me tell you my creation story. Nope, there's none of that. I won't be doing that. So 3 more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and do that to block. Oh, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I see a lot of people doing it. Lisa Lulu, Zoni's Rose, Sarah Brown, Jenny Penny, Evie. Did I see an Evie up here? Yep, I did. Chili Bean. I know Rebread did it. She was the first one. Dragon Chaser. Yeah. So, well, Linda Blue, thank you. But you guys have been kind to me, and I'm just paying it back. I want you guys to just look at it as like, pretend like you're 5, and I took you to the store and said, "Here you go, get what you want." It's that time of year, So, yeah. I have a stupid question for you, Ping. Amazon works in Australia, right?
Yeah, we have Amazon, sure.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know.
Yeah, we do. It's not as good as the American one, but we still have it. Like you can't get fresh food here like you can in the States. But dry food and electronics and stuff, we have it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't get it in my like my sister, she lives like 21 miles from me. She has Amazon Fresh, and I could literally be at her house, like, I don't know, like say we're gonna have some people over for dinner, and like, she's hosting. I could be like chopping vegetables and be like, "Oh my god, we don't have enough romaine. Oh, the tragedy." And in 30 minutes, 45 minutes, Amazon Fresh will deliver it to the door.
That's amazing. I wish we had that here.
I know, because I live rural. They don't do that. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to share my screen. One last chance. Get that Sushi Crew hashtag in the chat, because we're about to have some fun. Okay. You guys ready? Can you see that? There you go. And we're picking. There's only 21 people? No.
That can't be right.
No. No. Hold on. I'm going to stop sharing. I know there's not just 21 people. All right. We're going to
there might be 21 live in there right now, but there's been more than that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hold on. I'm going to refresh everything because I want to make sure that this is okay. No. Nope. going to refresh the whole thing. Because, okay, everybody go ahead and do it one more time. If you already did it, put it in there now.
Yep. Amy says you should all do it one more time.
Yeah, everybody, like, generally speaking, you only enter once, and that's all it takes. Sushi crew again. All right, smarty pants. I know that was Shiva's girl. I didn't even have to look. Because she's sassy. You play by putting Sushi Crew in there. And I know if you already did it once, go ahead and do it again so that we get this right. And we'll go ahead and I'll give like a few more minutes for everybody to get in there. But it's okay, good. It's going up. So it says right now we're at 44 entries. So that would probably be around right? Because there's 133 people watching, but there's not necessarily 133 people in the chat.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty close.
Okay, so sorry. Yep, keep going. You guys get it in. I'll give you like another 60 seconds and then...
Run, people, run.
Yes, as fast as you can, but no pushing, no shoving. I don't want an Astroworld situation here. No. Yeah, in the chat, right where you, Justice Jenny, right where you're typing right now, just type hashtag Sushi Crew. Yep. And Marjorie Morris, you got to put it as one word to be entered, just like I typed it. And if it picks me, I mean, we'll pick again. But
if you type Banana Crew, you won't win, but I'll laugh.
Banana Crew. Oh my gosh. All right. Zoni's Row. I think you're the last one. Let me go check. There's Lisa Lulu. Okay, Justice Gianni got it in there. Morning Dove got it in there. Yeah, Pascal's wager. You can't even get alcohol that quick. I know. All right. M's got it. Yep, the Weird Mom type Banana Crew. Of course she did. Do likes match entries? I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what that means. The only way to Peekaboo Cops Cockatiel type Banana Crew too. All right. One more minute. We're gonna go ahead and do this. I'm excited. I'm gonna... Oopsie. Okay, we got 58 in there. You guys ready? Here we go. Abled, you are the winner.
Good work.
Yay.
Email Miss Sushi for your prize.
Yeah, that was fun. I like my little toy.
It's a good one.
It is, isn't it? It's super fun. So I have another one that you can do like polls, like, you know, like surveys from the chat. But super fun. So congratulations, Abled. Send me an email, amy@truecrimesushi.com. And I'll get that to you right after the show. And you can do a little shopping tonight if you want. There we go. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing that screen. Get rid of that. All right. So let's talk about, oh my gosh. Let's talk about poor Isabella Kalua.
Oh my Lord.
This story has taken such a dark turn, and I think I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys that, you know, if you're triggered by child crimes, if you were adopted through the foster system, if you've lived in an abusive home, this might be a story that is not suited for you. And I apologize, and I encourage you to stop watching, because the story could not. Well, I'm not challenging anybody, but it really, in my opinion, couldn't be much more gruesome. So, as you all know, Isabella Kalua is 6. She's also known by the name Ariel. I keep saying Ariel. Can you tell I'm a Disney mom? Ariel Sanders. That was her name prior to the adoption. She's 6 years old. She was reported missing September 13th, and there have been massive searches in Hawaii. The Weird Mom covered this case very, very extensively and thoroughly. And she did a great live with, oh my gosh, what was her name? Weird Mom, Jamie, help me out.
Sleuth Mom.
Sleuth Mom, yes, Sleuth Mom. It was it was amazing. Yeah, you were there. We were all there watching. It was such a good live. So over the last couple days, Isabella's adoptive parents have actually been arrested and charged with second-degree murder, which is interesting because we still don't know where Isabella is, and obviously we don't have a body. I'm trying to figure out how they even came to second-degree murder, but that's beside the point. So the way this worked out is that, of course, they've been interviewing the family, and these parents, I can't say the mom's first name. I'm thinking it's Leua Kalua. She's 43, and her husband, Isaac, 52, adopted Isabella, who's 6, and 2 of her siblings. And they also fostered another biological child in relation to them, but they adopted these 3. So Isabella had an older sister, and she's named with the initials IMK. She's 12 years old, and she was interviewed on November 5th, and she broke this case wide open. Apparently, Isabella was kept in a dog cage by her adoptive parents. Her sibling told police that it was because Isabella was often denied food, and she would get hungry at night and she would steal food. So they locked her in a dog cage, which is not even the beginning of this. The 12-year-old states that the dog cage was ordered online, and she thought it was weird when it came in because they didn't even have a dog. She had no idea it was for her sister. Sometime back in August, this child was woken up in the middle of the night, brought into her adoptive parents' bedroom, where she saw her little sister Isabella with duct tape across her not just her mouth, but nose and mouth, and she was not breathing. Her adoptive mother placed Isabella in the shower and began running cold water on her, trying to wake her up. Isabella did not wake up. They did not call 911. What they did do was ask her 12-year-old sister to help move her to the bed. And then she was told to keep it a secret, and she hasn't seen Isabella since then. She doesn't know what happened to the body. She knows that they left the water in the bathtub for a couple of days, the way she tells the story, and then it drained. And then at that time, her adoptive father went to the emergency room, claiming that he might have COVID, and that allowed him to take some time off work without getting in trouble. That was a couple days afterwards, and she believes that that's when they got rid of Isabella. She doesn't know where she was in the meantime. These parents are sick. They reported Isabella missing on September 13th, but They did have some security cameras in the home, and after some investigation, the police have determined that the last time Isabella was last seen and probably alive was August 18th. So it has been 2 months. 2 months, this sibling of a child who is dead, who she saw dead, who she says to police, I know my sister was dead. I can tell you she's dead. And they said, how do you know? And she said, oh, you just know. Has been living with these monsters. So, I mean, there's a myriad of questions here. And one is, well, the first one is, how do you pass a background check? How do you pass a background check? Why are you adopting kids if you don't give them enough food and you put them in a dog cage because you feel like they're stealing food? First of all, when children come out of traumatic situations, it can be perfectly normal for them to want, not just because they're hungry, but because to want extra food. They have to hoard it maybe, or the excitement of having it available because it's just never been there. That is a very, very, there are a lot of things that are very normal about
very common
bringing children out of trauma. I know that hygiene is one of them too. And they always say, like, if they don't want to bathe at first, don't make it a big deal. Like, oh, we can just wash up in the sink. That's fine. Let's just wash our hands. Like, because there's just, sleeping can be an issue. You don't.
It's a trust issue.
It is, because you're so vulnerable. I know I've read things before where, like, foster parents are, well, we gave them a nightlight and we told them that light had to be off, and and come by the room at 2 a.m, the lights are on. Why do you care? Why do you care? This child's been through trauma.
Yeah, why don't you care if they're just sleeping and happy? Like,
right. I mean,
silly.
Yeah. So all of these things, I hate it when I hear people say stealing food. For so many reasons. I feel like that gives a child a complex. I feel like in this case, it means that they were not prepared to adopt these children.
And if you use the word stealing, it also tells the child they're doing something wrong, and it's not wrong. It's actually a natural thing when you don't know where your next meal is coming from. And I can tell you this because I went through it. I was somebody who took food like that. You don't know where your next meal is coming from and when you're going to have something to eat next. It becomes almost ingrained into you mentally to take food when you can see it. And when I got stable and I lived, with my partner, I gained 30 pounds like in the first year because I didn't know what it was like to have food in the cupboard all the time. And so, telling kids they're stealing food is not the right way to go about it. It'll actually make it worse.
Of course. My sister and I grew up with somebody that went through the guardian ad litem program, and my mom was involved with that or whatever. And I can remember, I'm not sure if it's like frowned upon or not. I don't think it is. But my mom and another woman that worked this girl's case became very involved with her, and to the point where, like, if we went away for the weekend or whatever, this girl would come with us. And I don't want to say her name, but I remember us spending the weekend at St. Augustine, and like my mom had like gone to the grocery store and bought like all these like fun snacks, for us to have that weekend. We were probably like 12 or 13, and so she was probably 15. She was a little bit older than us, and the way that she went after the snacks, like, even if she didn't really like it, she wanted to make sure that she got her share and it was reserved. Do you know what I mean? And my mom is just like an amazing woman, and she kind of prepared us for it. So there was like no weird reaction or whatever, but to see it actually happen, I think that's very, very normal. It's like, I might not get my share because I've been through this before where I'm told like, well, if I eat the peanut clusters first, it's okay because there'll be an Oreo left for me, but there's never an Oreo left for me. So I'm taking my share now, you know?
Yeah, that's how it is.
And there's not a lot of control in their life.
No.
So that is a way to control or feel like you have some control.
Yep.
Or to feel validated. Like why is somebody else getting all this stuff and I'm not? Like what, I don't know.
It's a hard one, trust me. Ask Mrs. Ping. I still do it to this day. There's some things I won't share, like I will not share. And she, she's just learned to deal with it. She's like, you don't share, like, one of them is ice cream. I don't share ice cream. It's just not a thing. It's not, for real, it's not a thing I share, and I get quite mad, even if she takes a spoonful. And it's petty, but, like, she understands why I do it. It's just, still working through it, even 20 years later.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I don't like, how do I say it? I've always been a fan of the phrase, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I don't like the word choices here with stealing.
That's not a good word.
It's not. It was a red flag to me. And I will tell you that it's been thrown around in my house a couple times. And I'm like, whoa. Nobody stole an apple. Like, we're not in the Garden of Eden. You know what I mean? Like, nobody stole the last banana. Like, there are more bananas to come in the future because I am banana sushi. And, but we don't talk to people like that. We don't create that sort of environment. And when a set of adoptive parents start using those word choices, that's the first thing that goes through my head. It's like, whoa, this is not good. I don't know what kind of training they went through before they adopted. I understand they were fostering them prior to this. I can understand why the biological family is extremely upset by all of this. Anytime there's a crime, you have like the one initial, like, big thing that we start talking about. But I think, and not you guys in the chat, but I think what a lot of people forget about is the domino effect. Like what this does to everybody else. And I think about this 12-year-old child and the other sibling in the home, the 12-year-old knowing that her sister is dead and being asked to keep a secret, which I'm sure it wasn't like, oh, will you please keep a secret? It was probably like, if you don't want to end up like Isabella, you better keep your mouth shut. It was probably more along the lines of that, the fear tactic. And then there's another child living in that home for 2 months while the adoptive parents are talking to officials saying, well, she didn't disappear till August 13th. That's a lie. We have nothing to do with it. We don't know. That's a lie. The truth. You're holding the key to that truth. They're holding the key to that truth. Nobody's talking. And I just, oh my God. How did these children ever get placed in this home, Ping? How?
I don't know. You think that, there has to be more. That it's like the checks, how far do the checks go, and like what other procedures could we put in place to screen these people, because it's happening too often. How, like, these things are becoming like, the dog cage and the things like that. They're becoming far too we saw that again. It shouldn't be, oh, we saw that again. It should be like, wow, that happened once. It's just horrible. I just don't know how these people keep getting children.
I don't know either. You say, I hate to ask this, but how long was Ariel kept in that cage? I believe she was put in it every night from somewhat of the beginning. When they started being bothered by Isabella eating at night, that was how they solved that problem. I imagine that the duct tape came because she was probably screaming that she didn't want to be in the cage. I mean, wouldn't you?
Horrible. Just don't. There's a very easy way to solve the food problem too. It's give the child something that is theirs. Give them a little box of treats or something like that, or some food, and say that's just for you, and it'll stop. It'll probably stop. I mean, it might not stop completely, but it'll help. And I think that's what a lot of those kids are looking for. They're looking for something that is theirs, something for them, and a lot of time that's all it's about.
Well, and I mean, I think being territorial about food is not just for children in this situation. I honestly see it with mine. Like, if I'm at the grocery store with one of the kids and they ask me to buy something,
Oh yeah,
they tend to think it's theirs, and I'm like, no, that's for everybody.
You share.
You share. I know we have like kind of done a system where there's a place in the refrigerator where like you don't have to ask for those snacks. Like it's like cut up fruit and stuff like that, right? And then in the pantry, the kids have their own little section where it's like, they do have to, ask because we might be eating dinner in 10 minutes and we're still in that age range where it's like, yeah, I'm full. And it's like, yeah, because you just ate 9 granola bars. but they know what's in their snack box and that's theirs and nobody else goes in it. And they, but they still, but yeah, I mean, that's a really good solution. And
yeah, that's the way to do it. That's a great way of doing it. You have different things, some food that you can just take, some food you ask for, and then you have your dinner and your meals and stuff. It's great. I think it's a great way of doing it, Amy.
Yeah, but especially when children are growing and stuff too. I mean, a lot of times it's like they literally are. They might not know the difference, but as a parent, most of the time you will know the difference. And if your child is eating because they're bored, or if they're eating because they're starving, and there are times when like I think they're like growing an inch every hour, and they need those calories. Like they literally are hungry. Hungry in 10 minutes. Yeah.
Boys especially. Boys just eat like crazy.
It's
mental. I know that. Like, I slowed down now I'm in my 30s, but when I was younger, I felt like I was hungry all the time. I could eat and 2 minutes later I was hungry again. It's a weird thing.
Well, you probably were. This is an interesting comment, Athena. She said, how bad was it where they were originally taken from if this was supposed to be better?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I can't even wrap my head around this. I guess the weird mom isn't in here. I was hoping she'd be in here. I have the, I'll go ahead and share these. I do have the documents for this. We won't read all of them, but because they're up. Go ahead. This is the, how does that look? Hold on. Okay. Oh, this looks pretty good. So here's the arrest warrant. So it reads as this. Of course, I think this was Wednesday. Was that November 12th? That they were.
I think so.
It was Friday. But that's when this was filed. Yeah. It might have been executed at a different time. So it goes like this. On or about August 18th, 2021, to and including September 13th, 2021, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, Isaac Kalua III, also known as Sonny, being the parent or guardian or any other person having legal or physical custody of IPK 2014. So that would be the 2014 is going to be the date of birth, right? Also, let's see, 2014, also known as APS. So yeah, so IPK is going to be Isabella Kalua, whatever the P stands for, and also known as AKA APS is going to be the original name, the Ariel Sanders, 2014. So that's going to be Isabella. Did intentionally or knowingly cause the death of IPK, also known as APS, a person less than 18 years of age, by intentionally or knowingly omitting to perform a duty imposed by law, to wit, Isaac Kahlua III, also known as Sonny, while at the scene of a crime and knowing that IPK, also known as IPS, the subject of the crime, was suffering from serious physical harm, did intentionally or knowingly fail to obtain or attempt to obtain aid from law enforcement or medical personnel. And they go read his name again. He could have done this so without danger or peril to any person, thereby committing the offense of murder in the second degree in violations of section, and they list that off. They also say he is subject to sentencing in accordance to the section number of the Hawaii revised statutes, where in the course of committing or attempting to commit a felony, he caused the death or inflicted serious or substantial bodily injury upon IPK. And such disability was known or reasonably should have been known to Isaac Kalua. If convicted of this offense or any included felony offense, may be subject to sentencing in accordance with, and blah, 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 blah. So there's his warrant for arrest. Right here, if you can see my cursor, murder in the second degree in violation of the codes. Sideways warrant. This is the court complaint. Has reason to believe that the offense of murder in the second degree has been committed, and the perpetrator of said offense is Isaac Kahlua III, also known as Sonny. Says the facts tending to establish the grounds for the issuance of warrant of arrest for the said Isaac Kahlua III, also known as Sonny, are as follows. Your affiant is a resident and city of the county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, that he is in detective employed by the Honolulu Police Department, here and after HPD, and has been so employed for 20 years, that he is currently assigned to HPD Criminal Investigation Division's Homicide Detail, and has been so assigned for the past 5 years. That in the course of performing his assigned duties, your affiant has investigated numerous crimes involving murder in the second degree and other related offenses. On September 13th, affiant was assigned to further investigate a missing persons case that was later reclassified to a murder in the second degree case. Let's see. So it just starts out count with the following information. The first bullet point is that on September 13th, 2021, HPD Officer Joel Patterson was sent to 41610 Pu'a Street in Hawaii to respond to a report of a missing person. Upon his arrival at the scene, Officer Patterson met with Isabella Kalua, who identified herself as the adoptive mother of the missing person. The missing person is referred to, we know this as IPK or APS, a 6-year-old female minor born in 2014. Lahua informed Officer Patterson that she had last seen IPK at approximately 9 p.m. When she went to bed in her own room. And when Lahua awoke September 13th, she noticed that the side door of the house was ajar, and that she went to check IPK's room, and she found that she, at that time that she was missing. The adoptive mother describes her as 3 feet 3 inches tall, weighing approximately 46 pounds, and stated that she was last seen wearing a black hoodie, black leggings, multicolored socks, and black Nike brand slides with pink soles. And Lahua further related that in the past, IPK would go out to the garage unnoticed and sometimes fall asleep there. She also said that she would open the house windows purportedly to talk to someone outside, but that no persons were observed talking to her, and on occasion would leave doors unlocked, which Lahua explained to her was dangerous. Lahua informed Officer Patterson that their door sensor was activated at approximately 1:30 a.m. Lahua stated that they have a camera system installed, but that it constantly crashes and goes on and off. Responding officers, along with IPK's family members and members of the general public, checked the area surrounding the house in numerous locations, but were unable to locate the missing child. Lahua identified Isabella's biological parents is Melanie Joseph and Adam Sellers, who, to her knowledge, were homeless and living in the Waimanalo area. I'm not saying that right. I'm butchering it. Lahu and her husband Isaac, also known as Sonny, adopted the 3 biological children. They are also foster parents of AJ, who is another biological child of Joseph and Sellers. Pursuant to the search warrant approved and signed by judge, they received records from the state of Hawaii and Child Welfare Services, and that these children began residing with Isaac and Lahua back in 2019. This goes on 10 pages. I don't know if you guys want me to read all this or if you want me to drop a link to the document so you can read them themselves. Hold on. I'm going to try to find something in here. Okay. Here's the part where the sister starts talking. This is on page 6. On November 5th, 2021, at about 1:30 p.m., Detective Shane Iwamoto, hereinafter Detective Iwamoto, conducted a recorded interview with IMK related to the following information. That she was asked to keep a secret by Lahua and Isaac regarding what happened to IPK. IMK stated that the secret was that IPK was in the bathroom in a dog cage, duct tape on her mouth and nose, and she didn't wake up. IMK further stated that the 2 smaller children, Isaac and Lahua, were sleeping, and they got up at 3:32 a.m. Lahua and IMK went to check on IPK in the bathroom, and I'm just going to say Isabella from now on. Isabella didn't wake up. IMK then was told to go back to sleep, and Isaac and Lahua stayed up. She does not know where they put IPK the next morning. IMK also stated that she was asked to keep that secret around 2 months ago, and that she knows Isabella is dead because she was there. IMK states that she was there because her parents woke her up. After being woken up, she went into the bathroom and saw that Isabella had duct tape on her nose and mouth and was not breathing. Lahua then filled the bathtub with water and put Isabella in it to see if she would wake up, but it didn't work. IMK then had to help carry Isabella to their bedroom. With regards to the bathtub, IMK explained that they took Isabella out of the cage and put Isabella in the bathtub, but she still did not wake up. According to IMK, Lahua woke up first and then woke up Isaac. At the time, IMK, Lahua, Isaac, Isabella, and AJ were the only ones at home. According to IMK, after Lahua filled the bathtub and Isabella would not wake up, Lahua then drained the bathtub a few days later. Isaac went to Kaiser to pretend that he was COVID. That's a quote. IMK stated that she knew Isaac was pretending because she knows that he took off work to help mom. When asked why Isaac would need to help mom, IMK stated to get rid of the stuff, the evidence. IMK stated that Lahua bought the dog cage because Isabella would sneak around at night and want to eat because she was hungry. IMK stated that Isabella would be hungry because Lahua would not feed her. IMK tried to sneak food to Isabella on occasions, but Lahua would catch them and become upset. So Lahua bought the cage to keep Isabella inside it at night. Lahua put duct tape on Isabella plenty of times because Isabella would sneak around and eat. IMK stated that she believes the duct tape came from Isaac's job and that Isaac had seen both IMK and Isabella tied up with duct tape on other occasions and did nothing. A check of 911 calling systems showed that there was no call made to 911 dispatch from the time period of August 1st to September 12th, 2021, from either Lahua or Isaac regarding the emergency at their home. Pursuant to search warrants approved and signed by the Honorable Karen L. Holma on October 15, 2021, Your affiant received medical records from the following health centers, and it goes on to list. The records include the time period from February 2019 to September 13, 2021. None of the records received by affiant included any visits by Isabella to either the emergency rooms or their respective health centers during the time period between August 1st and September 13th. Surveillance video recovered from the residence on September 13th showed other members of the family, including Lahua, Isaac, IMK, ILK, and AJ, about the residence at various times after August 18, 2021, including September 13, 2021. The above referenced events occurred in the city of Honolulu, state of Hawaii. And then they just say, based on the facts, they believe that the adoptive parents killed him. Oh, sorry about all of that reading, you guys. I need to get back to the chat and take this off the screen. I'll drop that link in there if you guys want to read those yourself, because it's interesting when you see the word choice of her older sister.
I mean, how is that not a crime in itself? Looking what you subjected that poor girl to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sorry, not sure if it's a boy or girl, I just assumed, but that child, like you've killed one child and now you've, traumatized another. Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, this child had to live in this house for 2 months, keeping this secret. Like, what is that? I don't know.
Adults can't even keep that kind of information internal, and you're making a child do it. Like, it's despicable.
Well, and it's her baby sister.
It's just outrageous.
This makes me want to just like go like this and start. It's hard with some of these cases, because when you're talking about family court, a lot of those records, or if not all of them, are sealed. You don't have public access to them, and it depends by any court records are state by state, but family court across the board is pretty much like locked up. But I did write out like what do you have to do to be an adoptive parent from the via the foster care program in the state of Hawaii. What do you have to do? And yes, their biological parents were homeless and had some issues, but I mean, was this any better?
No, it's not.
I mean, you adopt 3 children, and then you decide that a dog cage is the way you're going to discipline them. I mean, that knowing that your little sister, is being kept in a dog cage is enough. And the blaming in those documents, the way the adoptive mother says, well, she was known to leave doors unlocked. She was known to open windows and talk to people that weren't there. You adopted children that have been through chaos. Did you expect the family Von Trapp? I mean,
yeah. What were you expecting? Like, the perfect child? Come on, there's going to be issues when you take a child into your home who's been through so much. You can't act like that. It's crap.
Well, I'll go one step further. Even if you have, you guys, I realize they're not my kids, but they're my kids. They're my kids. Even when you have kids that have a biological parent in the house, they do stuff like that. They do all the same things. They maybe for different reasons. Some of them, like you said, are because it's like your amygdala. It's a survival part of your brain. Like you're hungry. You're afraid you're not going to have enough food, and so you take a little extra just in case. It's like until we kind of figure that part out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when your reasoning gets better about things like that.
Right. When you become, when your brain is a little bit more developed. But My kids do stuff like opening windows. They don't lock doors all the time. They all kinds of things like that. It's not it's just parenting.
I mean, I'm sure every kid has heard their parents like yell at them for leaving the door open and, to the outside and things like that. So like every kid does that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we don't put our kids in cages because of it. I mean, I don't know where that comes from.
Amy, do you know in Hawaii if there are any extra checks if you take on more than one adoptive child or foster child?
I don't know. I
That
know
would
that.
be interesting to know.
I'll put that on my. Hold on. So with the foster children, when you're fostering, um, for the most part, you do get a check for each child that you're bringing into your home. Adoptions work differently. There can be a financial incentive for those. There can be um, social security checks that are attached to each child. If they have some sort of issue where they're receiving other services, there can be tax benefits. So I don't know, like specific to this case, what that would have been, but that would be interesting to find out, even if we could get a general answer and not one specific to this case, because I don't think
Right. I
unless
think that you have to look at that, don't you? If anyone's and I'm not saying people who take on multiple kids are bad. There's a lot of really wonderful people out there who have a lot of love to give.
Mhm.
But there are some people out there, and history has shown us they take these kids for money or other things. I wonder if there are any extra checks once you take more than one.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's something we need to look at
Yeah,
because,
let's have a look at it sometime in the future.
well, and if we go back to the documents we just looked at, they were looking for medical records, and they were specifically looking to see if Isabella had been to, an emergency room during that period of time, because they're trying to prove that, something happened and the parents didn't report it, right?
Right.
What's interesting is, if I read those right, I'm gonna have to go back and look again, but from February of 2019, which is when the adoption was finalized and those children became theirs, right, legally, until August of 2021. So that's not, those children they didn't go to the doctor.
It's a long period for little children. Like little kids tend to, get bumps or scrapes or get sick of some sort in that time period every year. So,
Or
it is suspicious.
yeah, there's something weird there. The other weird thing is, um, was social services not doing follow-up visits?
Yeah, that's odd. I know when I was in foster care, I got visits in the first couple of years. It was every 3 months, and then it trailed off after that when they felt more comfortable with the foster care.
Right, right, because there's, milestones that, um, the relationship between, I feel like an a-hole over here because I'm not speaking for personal experience, but I'm also not going to pressure you two because you've been so generous with some of the things that you shared with us, and I do appreciate it. But I think the relationship is between adoptive parents and adoptees is different at 3 months and 6 months and 9 months and a year, and things start kind of getting ironed out. Like, this is how we do our holidays, and this is, like, what happens when you outgrow your clothes, or you know what I mean? Like, just normal
Learning
stuff.
how to life, really, like
Yeah.
life normally. Mine ended badly, so like I can't. I don't have the happy ending for the end and the stability at the end. But I can tell you, yeah, you kind of learn because when you move around so much in that, you don't know about like just general things like I don't know, like you said, new clothes, or you know, you
Right.
have to do this, go to the doctor, or you know, go to the dentist every, you know, for a checkup once a year and stuff like that. They're things you learn as you go along.
Yeah, it's I mean, even coming into my situation, like it's like how will things be you know, now that they're a little bit older? You know, how will your personal hygiene products be replenished? Do you have to tell me? Are they stored under the counter? Are you going to have backup? Do you throw it in a box so you don't have to tell me because you're embarrassed that you know you're out of deodorant because for some reason you're embarrassed to tell? You know what I mean? Like, there's all kinds of things. Or, I know we just had a situation where like went through one of the kids' closets and like nothing fit them, and I was like, what is going on? Like, why didn't you say anything? I was like, what? I didn't want anybody to get mad because I grew so fast. You just bought me stuff in August, and then I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know
Oh
what that's like.
God, no, that's not your fault. Like you've got, you know. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have ink all over my face in a minute.
Oh no.
I just touched my face. So this is the offender. Um, yeah. Don't let me. That's supposed to touch your face anyway. But yeah. Anyway, it was like this whole thing because I was like, what have we put out in this world that a child is scared to tell us that they look like they're wearing pants to a flood, you know? Like, or they can't get the, you know, when you're little, like your body changes so quick. Like one day you could wear a shirt, the next day, like the arm is like cutting off your circulation.
Oh
So,
yeah, I know that. Yeah. Well, I grew fast. I've been 6'1" since I was like 13. So, um, you know, from my younger ages to that point, I grew very quickly. And my original parents, my original adoptive parents, used to yell at me all the time because they used to think they were wasting money on clothes and shoes for me because I grew out of them so quickly. So, you know, that was one of the things I've had to deal with, you know, over the years now. But and then when I went to a new home, they were like, "What are you talking about? We'll just get you something new." And I was like, "What? You don't get yelled at for needing something?" Like,
you
so
get yelled at for growing? Yeah.
yeah,
I just, I, you know, I've said it once, said it a million times, said it ad nauseum, and I'm going to say it again. So just buckle up. Um, I hate these kind of cases. I don't like talking about children. This one has to be discussed because it was so preventable. Um, even if I mean clearly the adoptive parents passed their background check, right? But somewhere something didn't go right because somebody got a red flag. Nobody, I'm telling you, like I'm just gonna put my butt on the line here. No, and it's a big one too. Um, Somebody in here saw a flag because there's no way that people that commit these kind of crimes are that smart and why are you adopting children anyway? I just I fucking don't get it. It makes me so mad.
it's very sad because all these children want is a forever home. That's literally all they want. They want someone to love them and keep them forever. That's all they want.
Mhm.
And when they end up, you know, abused and dead, I mean, to me, that's the ultimate betrayal.
Right. You're removed from a but here's the thing too. I don't know this from personal experience. I can't even state this fact, but I'll tell you what my experience is, my relatable experience has been. When my mom used to deal with stuff like this, she would, you know, tell me later on in life, one of the saddest things is that no matter how bad a home situation was, sometimes where a child had to be removed because of like maybe not physical abuse or emotional abuse, but because of neglect, how protective those children were of their parents, their natural parents. Like, well, you know, mommy's saving money for this, and we're gonna get it soon, and you know what I mean? Like, totally invested in that situation. Like, don't want to leave, don't want out of it, don't want that help, and that's natural because they're bonded. So these children, these particular children in Isabella's family, are removed because their parents have some dependency issues and they're homeless. I don't advocate for anybody living together as a homeless family. That's a whole nother issue in itself that needs to be dealt with. But I dare say that these children were pulled away from their natural parents, put in the system, fostered, and then adopted, probably still healing from the other situation. And now you find your little sister living in a cage. Then you're asked to move your sister's body. Then your sister disappears. You know, you're 12. You know what's up. You know she's dead. She says it herself. I know my sister was dead. And then you have to continue living in that house. Who do you go to? Who do you trust? Because I don't even think you could go to as a child, I don't think that you would think that you could go to your social worker or anything, because it's like, well, clearly they think these are good people because this is where they put me. I mean, I think a lot of balls were dropped here. How did nobody see her for a month?
Yeah, with such a new such a new situation with a new family, where are the check-ins, or where are the, bring the child to the office and let's see how you guys are going and things like that. Like, I had things like that when I stayed with new families and stuff like that. They used to have to bring me in and they would talk to me alone and talk to them separately. And so there's something here. It'd be interesting to know once the investigation is completely done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna add this one to our list of cases that we follow and continue to. I want to say it's unbelievable, but it's just not. It's just not, and I don't. I understand being frustrated with children. I understand being at your wit's end. I understand, the perfect storm, finding yourself, wrong day, wrong time. This is the one thing that pushed me over the edge. But you and I have talked about this, and you said it yourself. I mean, it's all about taking time outs. Like, there's no excuse for this kind of behavior. And honestly, do we have
I feel that way about murders too, Just walk away, time out, whatever. There's no need to kill people or abuse them or whatever. Walk away. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. No, I want you to. Yeah, Rebred, you're asking if they were in their care for nearly 2 years. So it's February of 2019. And prior to that, they were fostering them. And then Marie, you had asked, or Mary, I don't know. Do we know where the little girl's body is? No, we don't. They know she's dead because the older sister has said, I knew she was dead. She was laying on the bed. I got up next morning. She was gone. And then a couple days later, my new adoptive father had to pretend he had COVID or get a COVID test so he could have time off from work. And when we asked mommy why he was doing that, she said to get rid of evidence. She literally said that to this child. So the evidence is her sister. So they have no reason to believe that she is that she is alive. I mean, they've been charged with second-degree murder. So, which that in itself I have a problem with, because second-degree murder is, they didn't seek help by calling emergency services or trying to use CPR or any other life-saving technique. Sorry, I've been swearing a lot lately and I need to stop, but I call bullshit on that too, because the reason she's dead is because you freaking put duct tape on her nose and her mouth. What do you expect?
Amy, do we know what happened to the other child?
Mm-mm.
There's no information or updates about that?
Mm-mm. No.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, there's a little bit. There's a little, do you mean the child they didn't adopt?
The one that carried the sister's body.
Oh, she's in social services.
She's gone back into the system.
Yes. Mhm. Now, I know that there is family advocating for a familial adoption. I think there's some issues there too. Um, but I'm not I'm not comfortable like getting into the specifics of that because I feel like I don't
Of course.
know about it yet, but I believe my what would you call it? My preliminary assessment of that would be that they do have family that would like to be part of their lives and perhaps adopt. They feel like it's in the children's best interest, especially now. They felt like that before, but especially now. I think they do have some obstacles, but I don't think that the little bit that I know, the little tiny bit that I know, I don't think that these obstacles are so big that they couldn't get through them with help and support from a social worker. So, and constant, not constant, but the same kind of supervision that they should have had in this situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And like, again, we're dealing with children, so there's laws and stuff all around that as well, that reasons why we can't know more and stuff like that. I understand. Also,
Right.
I cut you off again before. I didn't
No,
mean it.
no, you're fine. You're fine. No, like I said, I don't know all the ins and outs of it. I believe there's some issues that aren't horrible to overcome, and I think that like if they were required to, um, have a foster, or I don't know, like a mentor or some kind of parenting program, if there were regular check-ins with both the children and the family, if they, do you know what I mean? I think that's something they could make happen, and just don't understand why it even got to this point.
They'll say it's funding, or they'll say it's, I don't know, they're overworked and they can't afford to be there every week. But then make it happen. These kids deserve the support. Like, stop saying it. Like, make the changes that need to happen so that you can see these kids once a week or once a fortnight, or maybe if that happened, these children wouldn't die in care, because they're getting more of a close eye kept on them.
Oh, I agree. I agree. And educating people too that I know we already have mandatory reporters. Of course, we have doctors and we have teachers and nurses and you know a broad range of people that are mandatory reporters. But if we really sat down and educated everybody on um, see something, say something, because I think that a lot of the reaction of people sometimes is like, I don't want to get involved, or I'm not sure, and I don't want to start something if that isn't true. I've seen that in other cases, and um, there's a fine line between being like what people consider invasive in somebody else's life and a busybody. I think we have to remember that um, you know children depend on adults. Sometimes they're depending on someone that's not related to them, that doesn't know them, that doesn't. Um, it, Children need other people to advocate for them. So if you see something weird, I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm trying to think of a good example. I know I can give you one. Oh, so a couple years ago, I was in a shopping center, and I was with Bella and Christian, and this mom was, I'm not judging her. She was clearly having a rough day. She was not being verbally abusive to her children, in my opinion. She was having a rough day. She, they were walking out in front of us, and she was like, "I've had enough." She's like, "All I want to do is get in the car and go home." She's like, "Can everybody just stop talking?" I mean, I think a lot of people have experienced that. And that's when that's an opportunity to not to be all after school special, but if you can to smile at another person, another adult, and say, "I've been there," or "Is there anything I can help you do right now?" Or just something it's okay. We've all been there. You're not alone. Just because everybody talks on Facebook that their kids are perfect doesn't make it true. But what was weird about it is when they got to their car, she drove like a sedan, and her kids got in the trunk, and the windows were tinted, and we couldn't because my kids were like, "What is happening?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And we had decided that maybe that's a little game she plays with them. She lets them get into the trunk and push the back seats down, and then you know what I mean, get in the car.
Yeah, we used to do that as kids. Yeah.
But I mean, maybe I'm a Karen, but I called the security in the store. I told them there was a lady putting her kids in the trunk. Like I said, I don't know what's going on. I can't see because there's two windows. I'm like, but she was just. I said she's really upset with them in the parking lot, but I just couldn't. I couldn't let it go, because what if I saw tomorrow that there were 3 children found dead in a trunk?
Yeah, I mean, trust your gut. I think that's what the message is. Trust your gut. If you see something that, it just doesn't pass your hinky test, then, call it in.
Yeah. I mean, it's not you don't have to call 911. Like I said, you can call store security. You have options, they can look, I'm gonna go on these tangents, but these, especially like Targets and Walmarts, their security systems are so good now that you can be in the parking lot, pull out a dollar bill and hold it in front of your face, and those guys can read the serial number on that dollar bill. So they see things and they know exactly where to go or whatever, and they check things out, and they'll report things too. So yeah, I think we just have to remember that kids kids need more than whoever they're living with, whatever adult they're living with. They need everybody advocating for them. And so if you see something, if you suspect something, especially now, I know people don't want to get involved, but these things are preventable. I know there's another case where teachers knew that a child was being abused, and they were mandatory reporters, and they had gone to their principal, and the principal was like, "Oh, I don't really want to get involved with that, but it's okay. You told me, so that's not how it works." That's not how it works.
Well, there was might have been about a year or two ago. There was that woman at a fast food chain, and then that family came in, and then what was I can't remember if it's a little boy or a little girl, and she wasn't eating, but the rest of the family were. And then she was able to figure out through a sign or hand gestures that something was wrong, and she called the cops, and it ended up busting this huge case. So just because you think it won't happen to you doesn't mean it won't. I bet you that woman went to work that morning, didn't think that was how her day was going to go, and it did.
Yeah, wasn't that the one where the waitress, they were in a booth?
She made a sign or something?
Yeah, the waitress stood behind the parents in the booth and held up things.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that was a crazy case. But see, there you go. You send something isn't right. And I put this hold on, I put the wrong one. Lynn said, take a chance on being wrong or being embarrassed. Here's the thing. I know, there's 2 arguments for this. There's one, I don't want to accuse somebody of doing something if they're not. You're not. All you're doing is saying it looked weird, and I want to make sure that everything's okay. It's a welfare check. That's all it is. It's a welfare check. And the second one is well, officers don't have time to do that. Yeah, they do. That's their job. They absolutely do. Because guess what? If you, get your, if you get into a little tiny fender bender and there's nobody injured or anything like that, and you're waiting 8 or 9 hours for a police officer to come, you can do that because maybe they're out taking care of stuff like this. And then we don't hear cases like Isabella's. So that is their job. That's what they're there for. That's what, Child Protective Services is there for. So there's really no excuse not to do it. And honestly, it shouldn't be a terrible inconvenience or shameful to you if somebody comes knocking on your door and asks if your child is safe because somebody said this, this, and this. If you didn't do anything, you have nothing to be embarrassed about.
No, I don't think it's embarrassing to care for someone else.
No.
This might be a good segue into the. Did you want to speak about the Tinpins tonight? The family.
I think I'm gonna wait till tomorrow night.
Leave it another night.
Yeah.
We've gone on a while.
Yeah, it's like 11:45. It is a good story though, and you're right.
We talk too much, Amy.
Yeah, it is a good it's a good story, and we can probably what we'll do is update on this, and then segue into that because it's kind of how I had it lined up. But just as it is, it doesn't always go according to what we want, and it's better that way because it's organic. And we talked about a lot of like really good important things tonight. So
yeah, it was a good one. I hope people enjoyed it and we didn't didn't go too far or anything and get you guys snoring. I hope you guys found it interesting.
Me too. All right. Oh, yep, Marilyn. Yep, I have that story. I had sent it to Ping. I've had it actually in my little cache since like Wednesday or Thursday, and then I sent it to Ping last night because I wanted to talk about it tonight. But I think it's getting like, and I have to. You guys might not feel this way, but I have to tell you, like again, I have kind of a time limit with my ADD, and I'm starting to get wiggly and everything else, and I can't keep my thoughts straight because it's just been too long.
Starting to go fuzzy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I need to get up and like run around and do something and like, turn on 9 different types of music in 4 different rooms, so I can feel like myself again. I noticed about 15 minutes ago, I started really messing with my hair and wiggling. So I'm like a 4-year-old. I'm like, So my chair is squeaking. I'm throwing pens over my shoulder. I'm worried about pen ink on my hands. That's everywhere. So yeah, I think it's time to call it a night. But I want to thank you so much for being here. It's always fun when you're here, and we got to give away a gift card. I'm going to go.
We did
now. So that's super fun. So just know that could happen. That could happen at any time. So if you're not coming back because of my charming personality or
mine.
Ping's, yeah, that's right. Ping's velvety voice, and great opinions. Then, come back for the free stuff. That's my new tagline. Come back for the free stuff. If you haven't already, please, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you never miss a live. That one right there. Oop, where is it? Yep, there's my finger. Yep, messing with hair gives all his ADHD years away. Totally. Like now I'm just like, what a mess. Do it. Can I control myself? Check out WebSuss every day. Tomorrow, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. WebSuss with Trisha Griffith. It's Elma Monday. So super exciting stuff happening over there. I'll be live at 5:30 tomorrow, but I'm going to save the Turpin sisters until I can do that with Pink because I want to do that with Pink. So, who won the gift card? Abled. ABLED. Abled was the gift card winner for tonight. And so let me just make sure, actually, before we get on this live, thank you for asking. Let me make sure that I got an email from somebody saying, let's see.
Abel, did you email? He said he did, or she did. He or she.
Okay, hold on. I don't have anything yet. I just want to make sure. These are from 10 o'clock this morning. I need to clean my email out. Sorry, guys. Dead air. I don't want to let this go. I don't have anything in my email. Did you send it to Amy at True Crime Sushi? Oh, you haven't emailed yet. Okay, perfect. All right. If you haven't, that's fine. I want to take care of it right away. And I want to make sure that I get it from you so I have a way to contact you because otherwise I'll just be, out on the dark web. Abled. I have no idea who you are. So anyway, congratulations. And be saying that. Thank you, Ping. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody.
Good night.
And I'll see you at 5:30 tomorrow. And until then, see you on the flip side. That's a wrap. Maybe I'll actually take myself out of the feed tonight. That would be awesome. Forgot to do that last night, but one of these days I'll get it right. Good night, folks. Good night, Sushi crew. See you later.